And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tailgate Tuesday. It is main event time, main event of the evening, coming to you live from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It is the second playoff race in the round of 12 for these drivers in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series in the 2021 season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. And we're bringing you live coverage of the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 qualified third. He's taken the race lead since then, and he's out front right now. Jesse Carlson in the 88 truck scored in second, and it's Beam SKP in the 16 truck, full-time driver out of France, running in third. And now they're making green flag scheduled pit stops here in stage one. We've burned a couple of laps so far in this race before beginning the broadcast for the Rockstar 250. These drivers are able to go about 7 laps on fuel, and they're able to, there's 20 laps in stage one, so we're looking at about 2 green flag pit stops before the end of stage one. I'm NOSSCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder. Alongside me is my co-commentator for the race, 2021 NOSSCAR Daytona 500 winner for the Platinum Cup Series and former NOSSCAR Thunder Cup Series champion Brett Baker. Brett, thanks a bunch for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be up here.
It's your first race broadcasting for the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series, and you're welcome anytime as long as you're not racing. You won the race earlier tonight at Gateway. You did a start and park here at Canadian Tire. Even though you are pretty competitive here, you're locked into the round of 8, and you decided to start and park and join us in the booth. So thanks very much for doing that, and you're welcome anytime.
Thank you, and yeah, no problem. I figure with, being locked and everything, take a little less pressure off myself, just sit back and enjoy a good race today.
Absolutely. And our in-race reporters for today's race, Cameron Norton, driver of the 3 truck, former NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series race winner, and Alex Tesdall, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150, former NOSSCAR winner in the Motormaster Series and Platinum Cup Series. We had a truck slow on the Mario Andretti straightaway. It looked like it was Jordan Roughton in the 17. He came off a strong run earlier tonight at Gateway, getting a top 10 finish there, but it looks like he's out of fuel, and he's wiggling that truck left and right, trying to splash any fuel that he can and get some power, but it's not working. He's creeping along, I think, at about 20 miles per hour up the hill there on the Mario Andretti straightaway. There's Jordan Green, 6-time NOSSCAR champion in the 00 Ford F-150. He announced earlier this week that in 2022 he will field Ford teams for the Truck Series and Motormaster Series, and potentially the Cup Series as well. He's going to let all of us know about the Cup Series here in the near future. He's following Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, and behind him is Tanner Gray in the number 32 Chevy Silverado. That's actually my truck that he's driving, and I'm very happy that he's having a good run. He qualified 7th. He's a former NOSSCAR race winner on GTA 5 in the Street Tech Series, and he's entered into the 2 series that we have starting later this summer, hosted by Ayrton Frederick and a few others. And he's looking strong here in the 32 Chevy Silverado in the top 10. And we're going to quickly throw it down to the in-race reporter, Cameron Norton, driver of the 3. Cameron, what position are you in, and how's the truck feeling so far in this race?
Well, I was running 4th, but I got loose. But the truck's handling pretty well. Right now we're running 9th, so we're just going to keep motoring. We have a really good truck, so look out.
Absolutely. Cameron looking strong. He's in hot pursuit of Tanner Gray in the 32. Just in front of him is the next truck in line. Brett, what are you seeing out there, buddy?
I've been keeping my eyes on the 17 of PC Panthers, Tyler, and he's about to make it to pit road. One thing I did see, though, was a sign of sportsmanship, was the 24 of Napa fan. He gave the 17 a push coming out of the Andretti straightaway, and as I'm talking right now, he has just now made it to pit road.
Very good, and yeah, what a nice gesture that was by Nick Don Francesco in the 24. He's the points leader and the regular season champion, giving a push to the 17, who was out of fuel going down the Mario Andretti straightaway. He safely makes it to pit road, and he'll get scheduled service in stage 1. These drivers are all going to need to make 2 pit stops under green flag conditions before the end of stage 1. Right now, they're all chasing the 45 of Ayrton Frederick. Ayrton leading the race. He's got 2 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series race wins in his career, both of which came on a road course. Watkins Glen and earlier this year at the Indy Roval, excuse me, not the Indy Roval rather, but Road America. Excuse me, it took me a while for that one. So he would love to add to his road course racing resume here and add another win for his NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series career as well. Keep in mind he's entered in to the 2021 King of the Road tournament starting in April, and so is the driver that's in hot pursuit of him right now, and that's Jesse Carlson in the 88. So are you, Brett. You're going to be a part of that big tournament. How does it feel to be a part of the upcoming 2021 King of the Road tournament, knowing that you're going to be taking on some of the big names on the game here, like Silzano and Maxwell Castro and others?
I mean, I feel honored just to be in it. Like, I never thought that I would even be a part of that series, and there's plenty of other drivers that are better than me on the road courses, but we're just really consistent there, even if we don't win a race. So we're just looking to have a good time in the King of the Road series, and if we do pull off a win, awesome. If not, then hey, we're here to have fun.
Absolutely, and that's the way I'm looking at it too. Honestly, I'm not going to be too surprised if I get eliminated in round one, for example. Just the level of competition is so stiff for that upcoming tournament. So yeah, it's just an honor to be a part of it, and an honor to race against some of the names that are involved in that. Intimidator as well, Jesse Carlson, Beam SKP, we're watching him right now. A lot of very talented road course ringers entering that tournament. True Death from FRR, Mucka, Bad Fast Marley, a lot of drivers getting involved in this upcoming tournament. The top three in this race are all entered into the tournament. In fact, top four: Ayrton Frederick, Jesse Carlson, Beam SKP, and Dustin Franklin. Dustin is the pole sitter for this race, but he's dropped back a couple of positions since the start. He's got some front-end damage to the number 40 Silverado. He's currently scored in fourth, still showing good speed, still clicking off quick lap times here at Canada. Just lost touch with the top three a little bit, Brett.
I don't know who the top three is right now, Tyler, but I've been riding along with the 88 of NASCAR Oof, and just about a half lap ago, he was on the tailgate of Ayrton in the 45, but that battle has since spread itself back out, and Ayrton is trying to run down the 24 of Napa Fan.
I believe
so. It looks pretty even right now. They're in the Andretti straightaway.
We'll get the confirmation from in-race reporter Alex Tesdall, the driver of the 98, but I'm pretty sure Ayrton Frederick in the 45 is our race leader, and what you were touching on there just a moment ago was actually the battle for the lead. The 24, I believe, is on the tail end of the lead lap, but let's confirm with Alex.
Yeah, the 45 is the race leader.
I thought so. So yeah, that's the battle for the lead, Brett, and it's one heck of a good battle between two road course specialists. Both also race on Gran Turismo Sport and NASCAR, two different series on Gran Turismo for NASCAR, the GT3 Cup cars, and then of course the prototypes that a lot of you would know and recognize from the Rolex 24-hour race at Daytona.
Oh, the 45 just spun out.
Oh, and he did. And Ayrton Frederick.
45 just got loose and spun out coming through turn 2.
Oh, and it's a blind turn. You don't see where you're going. You come up the hill and then you go down a long swinging left turn, and it's a blind corner. You've got to basically trust the track knowledge that you have and hit your marks and be smooth, and something went amiss there for Ayrton. He loses the race lead and he drops back to fourth behind his teammate Dustin Franklin.
I just saw the 40 truck do a two-sided wheelie on the right side of his truck going through that straightaway right before the sharp right-hander.
It happens a lot down there in turns 5A and B, the horseshoe turn. Oh, it gets crazy. If you drive in too deep in that corner, the truck will go up on two tires as you're trying to make that right turn. Moss Corner shows no mercy. And yeah, Ayrton Frederick now drops back to fourth. He's got about, I don't know, 20 truck length advantage over the 18, and that's Trenton Krentz. Trenton Krentz is also going to be in the King of the Road tournament in that 18 truck there. There you see him following the 45 down pit road. He's scored in fifth in this race. So the top 5 drivers in this race are all entered in to the King of the Road tournament in April. Right now they're chasing Jesse Carlson. He's the leader. A couple of trucks coming to pit road and surrendering their spot from the top 5. And this leaves the 88 and the 16 on the racetrack running 1-2 right now. And
Yep,
what a
I got eyes on the 16.
What a great start to this race it's been for him. Love the paint job on that number 16. He ran pretty solid earlier tonight in his first Truck Series playoff race at Gateway. Didn't get the finish he was hoping for. Finished outside the top 10. But here he is, arguably his best chance to get a good finish in the playoffs. He is one heck of a road course ringer. BMSKP is the lone full-time driver out of France, and it was quite an accomplishment for him to win the Brickyard 150 earlier this season at the Indy Roval here in the Truck Series. First ever NOSSCAR win in any of our series. Here he comes to pit road. He's going to surrender second. Brett, the top three all just came down pit road. Yeah, Jesse in the 88, Beam in the 16, and Dustin in the 40.
I'll be honest, Tyler, my money for this whole race is that 88 truck. He came so close to winning at Gateway a few minutes ago. I feel for him, and I know he's more than ever determined to get that win to lock himself into the next round.
You bet he is. He's made the playoffs for the Motormaster Series on Mondays, the Xfinity cars, and he's made the playoffs here for the Truck Series for Tailgate Tuesdays. He's only one of a handful of drivers to be able to do that here in 2021 on NASCAR Heat 5. And you're right, he's the favorite every time we come to these road course races. He's arguably the Chase Elliott of NASCAR, if you will. Just really seems to have these road courses figured out. He also races on Gran Turismo Sport with us. In fact, 3 of the drivers in the top 5 in this race race in NASCAR on Gran Turismo Sport, so a lot of that road course racing experience coming over here and showing on NASCAR Heat 5, and especially here tonight for the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Right now I'm watching the 17 truck, Tyler, since he was the one that ran out of fuel during that first cycle of pit stops. So I'm seeing if he's going to do the same thing again. But he's kind of running a little bit slow. I don't know if he's conserving or if that's just how he races this track. Everyone has a different driving perspective, and if this is his, then hey, go for it.
Seems to be all right so far. He's got a little bit of front-end damage to that Ford F-150 for No Shift Motorsports, but hanging in there. I don't think he's been to pit road for a second time here in Stage 1. I think he's yet to come back to pit road, but he will need to visit pit road once more. And he might even be in danger of going a lap down once he is finished doing that. And it's only because of him running out of fuel during that first stint. So he's a very talented driver. He's just kind of caught behind the 8 ball at this point and trying to play catch up and without losing any more laps. And honestly, once you get behind a Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, it's really hard to catch back up.
It definitely is. And especially if you fall, say, 2 laps down, you know, you're running the risk of falling behind drivers that only go 1 down, and so then you're pretty much stuck a lap down the rest of the race. And the only way you'll be able to gain spots is if you pass another truck or they leave.
Couldn't agree more. Watching the battle now between Armstrong in the 15, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. And I believe that is the 45. It is 45 of Ayrton Frederick just behind them, and then it's the 6-time NOSSCAR champion Jordan Green behind them. 2 drivers in this pack right here have a NOSSCAR championship. All of them have a NOSSCAR win. The 15 of Armstrong is a playoff driver. Ayrton in the 45, a playoff driver. 51 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr., a playoff driver. All 3 of these trucks are on the lead lap and inside the top 10, having a good battle here for position. We're going to throw it down to M-Race reporter Cameron Norton, driver of the 3. Cameron, what do you got for us?
The leaders just took the stage with 4 to go. The race is going smoothly. I couldn't agree more with y'all up in the booth. We're going to see a great race and maybe a new winner.
We might see a first-time winner this season. You're right. There's a couple of drivers having a great run up there. Right now, they're all chasing Jesse Carlson, the driver of the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. 3 wins for him this season, looking for number 4. He nearly picked up a win earlier tonight at Gateway, and he was trying to stretch the tires out as much as he possibly could. He blew a tire on the last lap out of the final turn and lost the race to Brett Baker. It was a heartbreaker for him. And we're getting a report, Beam SKP got a little bit loose coming out of turn 5, and he collected the wall just a little tiny bit of front end damage to that Toyota Tundra for Rockstar Racing, but he's all right, soldiering forward. He's still in the top 5 and on the lead lap, having a good day. Top 5 get the stage points, but it's a bit of a shame because he was up there running in the 2nd position and trying to keep with your race leader, Jesse Carlson.
Even if he lost touch with the leader, these stage points matter the most now that we're in the playoffs.
I couldn't agree more, and the stage wins, of course, pay out a playoff point, so those will carry through with these drivers to each playoff round, so those are also critical. Stage wins, top 3 finishes at the end of the race, those all pay out a playoff point, and that's kind of what Jesse Carlson is on the hunt for here tonight. Watching that 88 truck leading laps and looking strong early in the going. It's Ayrton Frederick in the 45, running in 2nd. No, excuse me, actually, I believe it's the pole sitter of Dustin Franklin running in 2nd, actually, and it is. Nick Don Francesco, the 24 truck just behind him, is the first truck 1 lap down. He's only a lap down because of an incident that happened earlier just in front of him, and he had nowhere to go. And he also elected to give a push to the 17 truck when he was out of fuel to help him get to pit road safely. So because of all of that, points leader and regular season champion Nick Don Francesco, first truck 1 lap down, 3rd truck in line following the race leaders. Beam SKP in the 16 has only dropped to the 3rd position after that incident over in turn 5 just a bit ago. Just a quick update on him. 2 laps to go in stage 1. Throwing it down to the in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall. Alex, what position are you in? How's the truck feeling?
Running 13th, and the truck doesn't feel too bad. We're a bit tight, but I think we like a few adjustments in a couple spots.
You were a little bit worried for the first round of the playoffs for the trucks. You got 6th, though, earlier tonight at Gateway. It was pretty good points for you to start the playoffs. How worried were you coming into Canadian Tire Motorsport Park?
Honestly, Canadian Tire was my biggest worry, and the way I'm currently running shows why. I'm not a great road racer, but great run at Gateway, and with Bristol up next, I think we'll be able to make it through.
Was just about to mention you won the Motormaster Series race at Bristol, and that is the cutoff race for the round of 12. High hopes for you, I'm sure, heading into that race. All you've got to do is survive here tonight at Canadian Tire, knowing you got a top 10 in Gateway to start the playoffs, so good luck to you. Brett Baker, what do you got? What are you seeing out there, buddy?
I've been watching the 88 truck, Tyler, and I see he's mowing the grass a little bit, but he's not losing the truck too much. He's just running his race, and he's catching the 8 truck of Duquesne, who I believe is on the lead lap. I could be wrong on that one. So if he falls a lap down before this lap ends, because they are now on the final lap, then Nick Don Francesco is going to remain a lap down at the end of this stage.
Very good point, and that is critical. That's huge because they're both playoff drivers. The 24, Nick Don Francesco, a playoff driver. Timmy Brown in the 8 as well is also a playoff driver. The difference between them is Nick won the regular season championship and he has 7 wins. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck, no wins this season, and came in with only a couple of playoff points. So they're both in need of a good finish, don't get me wrong, but Timmy Brown in the 8, he needs one more than ever, and maybe more than anyone. Right now he's trying to hold tough in front of our race leader, Jesse Carlson, to try to stay on the lead lap the old-fashioned way instead of having to take the free pass. They're coming down the Mario Andretti straightaway for the final time in stage 1, Brett.
I'm seeing a little bit of sportsmanship here, Tyler. I'm seeing the 88 truck back down a bit because of his huge lead on the 40 of Dust, and keeping the 8 truck on the lead lap, so that will keep Nick Don Francesco in the free pass position as Jesse Carlson here comes by for the stage 1 win.
Oh,
the 8 truck is loose, he spins out.
Oh, but Jesse's going to lift and let him stay on the lead lap. What a nice gesture by him. Everyone talks
That's
about
sportsmanship right there.
Everyone talks about how the drivers that run the same manufacturer work together, and we saw a little bit of that there. They both drive a Ford, and Timmy Brown's going to stay on the lead lap for the start of stage 2, and also this is going to give Nick Don Francesco the free pass instead of Timmy Brown, and instead of locking Nick Don Francesco 1 lap down and keeping him there. So that was huge right there. And honestly, what goes around comes around. Nick Donfrancesco helped Jordan Roughton earlier get to pit road when he ran out of fuel, went a lap down because of it, and now someone's doing a nice thing for Nick in return, and he gets back on the lead lap. Good things happen to good people here, especially in NASCAR, it seems. Nick's going to be on the lead lap and have a good run here in Stage 2. Top 5 from Stage 1?
NASCAR Roof, Dust Bunnies, Beam, even Steven, Ayrton.
So Ayrton in the 45 truck got 5th. Beam is going to hold on to 3rd in the 16. Good for him. The road course ringers fill the top 5 spots, and it's going to be an interesting Stage 2, Brett.
Oh, it's definitely going to be interesting. Especially if you got to do 2 pit stops again, like this first stage went. And here we go, ready for Stage 2.
Yep. Keep your eye on the 18 truck as well. 2-time NASCAR World Champion Trenton Krentz got 4th in Stage 1. The green flag has been shown, and they're racing into Turn 1, and it's a right-hander waiting for them.
Yep, Dust Bunnies is taking the lead right here off that right-hander. He hasn't cleared the 88 just yet. 88's getting out of the position. Nope. Dust sends it in. Nope, 88's right there. He, side by side, entering, I believe, the 3rd turn.
Whoa! And a truck gets loose going through the grass. Oh, it was Ayrton in the 45. He makes contact with the 51 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Heartbreaker for Jeffrey. He goes from the top 5 to outside the top 10.
Jeffrey is like one of those drivers that, you know, you may not see him win all the time in NASCAR, but he is right there at the end.
Always, and he's here again, and he's got a shot. Right now, it's Dustin Franklin in the 40 that escaped with the race lead there. Jesse Carlson is in hot pursuit, running in 2nd, and it's Tanner Gray in the 32 running in 3rd. He's looking to the inside of him. It's going to be the outside, though, when they come to the end of the Mario Andretti straightaway. And what a run it's been. There he is, Tanner Sniper Gray in the 32, running in 3rd. And he's got the 97 of Trey Hollywood right behind him. Ayrton Frederick in the 45, rounding out the top 5. Stephen Corley, Jordan Roughton, Trenton Krentz, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Ooh, battle for 2nd heating up here. Tanner drives it in there and takes 2nd away from NASCAR Oof. Woo. Are you sure that's not Tyler McMurder there in the 32 truck?
I was wondering if it was Tanner Gray, the NASCAR Truck Series driver. Holy, look at him go. He just took 2nd from arguably the quickest truck on the racetrack, Jesse Carlson. Jesse started in 2nd for this race. Dustin Franklin, the pole sitter, is now back to the race lead, and he's got a pretty big gap over Tanner Gray, who is now scored in 2nd. What an impressive pass.
Not anymore, though, because Dustin ran loose coming off of turn 3, and he lost a lot of time to that 32 truck. Oh, he's loose again. Lead change, 32 truck.
Wow, you saw it, and that was wild. I can't believe he missed him. That was close. He just kept his foot to the floor, the pedal down, and Tanner Gray got around the wreck, and he takes the race lead. Trey Hollywood in the 97 scored in 2nd, and that's the highest he's run all race long as well. 2 non-playoff drivers, the 32 and the 97, leading the field with Ayrton Frederick in the 45 in 3rd. So many different...
Last time I saw that 97 truck, it won at Eldora, and now we're seeing it run 2nd here at Canadian Tire.
But don't forget that 32 truck won this race earlier this season as well. I was behind the wheel for that one, and we might see it happen again here. I'm really impressed with Tanner Gray. He was a little worried to jump in during a playoff race. But honestly, look at him go. He's leading. He's not holding anybody up. He's not wrecking nobody. No contact made with other trucks, I don't believe yet. Not a mark on that 32. He's looking good. He's looking like he's been doing this for a long time. And the side-by-side battle you see behind them, Ayrton Frederick and Trey Hollywood. Very impressed with the 97 of Trey Hollywood. Not necessarily known for his road course racing abilities, but he's having a great run, and side-by-side with Ayrton Frederick, who's been one of the fastest trucks all race long. In fact, I believe the 45 has led more laps than any other truck in this race, maybe besides the 88 of Jesse Carlson, who has worked his way back up into 4th, Brett.
Yeah, I see that. I got eyes right now on that 97 truck of Trent Hollywood. Like, That man impresses me. Like, he shows up here, he doesn't get the finishes he deserves, and it's really amazing to see him run up in third place right now, battling for second place with Ayrton. Looks like he just got a little loose off that final turn. Now has to try to hold off Jesse Carlson in the 88.
I think he got a little wiggly as well, you're right, but he held on to it and still scored in third, about a truck length or maybe two back to Jesse Carlson, and you hit the nail right on the head. Talented driver, just has some terrible luck sometimes here, and I think it's only a matter of time until we see him find victory lane, whether it be
Battle
the
for the lead here.
Motormaster Series or the trucks, you're right. To the bottom goes Ayrton.
Ayrton on the outside of the 32 truck as they come to the hard right-hander. That means he'll be on the inside. They keep it separated from one another. They keep it clean, and Ayrton back to the lead.
And Stephen Corley takes third just behind them. The 99 getting around the 97. Two passes there for first and for third. Ayrton Frederick back out front and leading the race. And I think Tanner Gray in the 32 found out firsthand that when you come down that turn 4 hill, the left-hand hill leading towards Moss Corner at the bottom of the hill, that the truck does get a little loose there and like to try to turn left on you. He did a great job holding on to it when you're side by side going down that hill. Man, some bad things can happen. And a big wreck going through the final S's there. The 97 of Trey Hollywood spun around.
I didn't see that part of it. I just saw the 99 get to the outside of Tanner and take over second place.
Yes, he did, and tough break for Trey. We'll keep an eye on him. Everybody soldiered on. No major damage for any of the trucks that were just involved in that on-track incident. Ayrton Frederick leading the race. Stephen Corley in the 99 is in second, and Jesse Carlson has just taken over third. Nick Don Francesco, after getting the free pass at the end of stage 1, just took fourth. Tanner Gray on those slightly older tires slips back to fifth in the 32. Beam SKP, lone full-time driver out of France, runs in sixth. And the seventh position belongs to Dustin Franklin in the 40, the pole sitter. And as for Dustin, kind of looks like his truck is a short-run truck, and then once in a while it just gets a little snappy loose on him, and that's what causes him to lose the track position. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. just behind him in the 8th position, and then it's the two-time NASCAR World Champion Trenton Krentz running in 9th. Rounding out the top 10, Jordan Green, the 6-time NASCAR champion.
I was swapping through cars to see who's where and everything. I just came upon the 17 truck, and his truck looks like it's been sitting in pit road for a minute. I don't think he's in the race anymore.
Yeah, there's a couple of trucks that are indeed out of this race. Bradley Gilliland in the 38 is one of them. He is a playoff driver, and he's coming off a top 5 finish earlier tonight at Gateway, so it's really unfortunate for him. He's going to be out of this race here for the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire and done for the day. 20 drivers entered this race, and I believe we have 18 trucks left on the racetrack, rocking and rolling here up in north of the border here in Canada on NASCAR Heat 5, and it's been a great race so far. Watching the 24, Nick Don Francesco, he's in third. He's got Jesse Carlson right behind him, Stephen Corley right in front of him. He's the meat in the Steel Horse Motorsport sandwich, Brett.
Is that a pun referencing the fact that he's driving the Hooters truck?
No, it is not, but we can go with that.
I say let's go with it. That's fun commentary right there. I believe, to go back on to how many trucks are in this race, Tyler, I think we have 16, because I know myself, the 21 truck, and if the 38 and the 17 are out, then we are down to 16 trucks.
Oh, yes, you're right. I just realized I did a truck count there as well after you started talking about it. And yeah, 16 trucks left on the racetrack here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, 20 of them starting and getting points. And yeah, we're down to 16. We have a little bit of attrition in this race. Not too much, though. Most of them still out there rocking and rolling, chasing the 45 machine of Ayrton Frederick. He's leading the race with Stephen Corley and Nick Don Francesco running in second. They're having a great battle for that second and third position with Jesse Carlson right behind them. Let's quickly throw it down to the M-Race reporter Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3. Cameron, give us a rundown on how your race is going lately, bud. What position are you in, and how many laps to go here in stage 2?
I am in the top 10, and we have less than 11 laps to go.
All right. And you heard it from the former NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race winner. That means, Brett, that they're all going to have to come back to pit road one more time before the end of stage 2. What do you think they're going to do there?
I think they're going to have to do 4 tires of fuel. Like, it's impossible to run here on those left side tires on road courses, especially if they're mostly dominated by right-hand turns.
I couldn't agree more. I think that 4 tire pit stops is going to be the theme for today's Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport
Leaders
Park.
are in pit road.
You're right. Ayrton Frederick,
Jesse Carlson stays out.
He does. Wow. And the 88's going to stay out one more time, but the rest of the top 5 are all coming down pit road. Ayrton Frederick, Stephen Corley, Nick Donfrancesco, Beam, SKP, even the drivers behind them, like Trenton Krentz, the 2-time NASCAR World Champion, and Tanner Gray in the 32. They're on pit road as well. There's more trucks following them down pit road even. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Trey Hollywood in the 97. Pit road's a very busy place.
Man, the pit road for this round of green flag pit stops just became the lunch rush for fresh tires.
Did it ever? Jordan Routen's there. Actually, Jordan's out of the race, unfortunately. Cameron Norton, in-race reporter in the 3. He's there getting service. And many of them leaving and merging safely back onto the racetrack now at this time.
The 45 and the 99 are off pit road, Tyler, and I just want to give a shout out to that 99 for his race last race. I thought he was going to run me down because my truck was not handling the way I wanted it to on the long run, and he was catching me before I saw him get a little bit of grass, I think in turn 3 and 4 with a few laps to go at Gateway. So I hope to see him get another good run tonight because I see him sniffing that first Truck Series win as well as I did. Got a battle going through the Andretti straightaway between KBM truck teammates of even Steven and Juicy J. Steven gets ahead of the 51 as they come on towards the front stretch. There's a 32 of Tanner, same position, a couple turns before the front stretch. He's behind those 2 trucks.
And what a good run. What a good run for all of these trucks that you were just mentioning. Jesse Carlson coming back onto the racetrack in the 88 Ford F-150. He should be back into the 2nd position once this all cycles through. It's Ayrton Frederick who takes back the race lead once this all cycles out. But let's confirm quickly with Alex Tesdall, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150. Alex, who is the race leader?
45.
All right, awesome. And let's quickly touch on how the race is going for the playoff driver, Alex Tesdall. Alex, you're coming off a 6th place finish earlier tonight at Gateway. What position are you running in right now, and how's the truck feeling?
We're currently running in 14th, and we've got a decent bit of damage, so it's not handling that good right now. Hoping to get it to the end of the stage on the lead lap and see if we can do it in stage 3.
All right, wishing you the best of luck. Thankfully for Alex, he has a great start to the playoffs with a 6th place finish, and not necessarily known for his road course racing abilities, so just hoping to get as many points as possible here at Canadian Tire and then move on next week to Bristol for the cutoff race where he is known for his success. And around when Ayrton Frederick, coming out of the final turn there, he hit the inside wall. He's going to keep the lead, but he's got some more front-end damage to the 45 Silverado, and he's going to need to repair that at the end of stage 2. And then that's going to cost him a couple of extra seconds on his pit stop at the end of this stage.
This battle for 2nd place, though, is rough right now, as I just saw contact between the 24 and the 88 as they try to run down that damaged 45 truck. As it's Nick Donfrancesco taking over 2nd, and Jesse Carlson fighting back in 3rd place. They give each other room going through this part of the straightaway on the course before the hard right-hander.
Yep, now down the hill, heading towards Moss Corner, and way wide went the 24 of Nick Donfrancesco. That opens the door for Jesse in the 88, but Nick in the 24 is going to get a big run coming out of the corner because he diamonded it in a certain way. Stephen Corley is going to try to capitalize and make a pass on Jesse Carlson, and Beam in the 16 is going to try to go with him. Man, they're bringing Dustin Franklin in the 40, Trenton Krentz in the 18 with them. It's a battle for second all the way back to 7th here in Stage 2, and we're nearing the end of Stage 2. It's Tanner Gray in the 8th position in the 32 truck, and Trey Hollywood in the 97 in 9th. And let's quickly ask Cameron Norton, how many laps to go in Stage 2?
We have less than 8 to go, and we might not be able to make it on field. We might be having to make it on another pit stop.
Oh, wow. And drivers might be having to come back to pit road before the end of Stage 2.
I think it's most likely going to be a splash of fuel just to get to the end.
I wonder how the tires are going to look at the end of all that. This track is pretty hard on the tires.
That's my same question too, Tyler. Like, normally for me, I'd run my tires down to like the 30s or the 20s, especially here at Canadian Tire. I don't know how any of these guys are going to be able to pull this off unless... My only idea is if they have a wheel and they're using it, they might be able to save enough tire to make it, and maybe fuel. But we don't know who has a wheel or not. But I do have a theory on one driver right now as I'm watching him. It's the 88 of Jesse Carlson.
I'm watching him too.
He just let the 18 truck go, and he has backed his pace way down from battling for second place with Nick DonFrancesco a few laps ago.
Yep, he's going for it, I guarantee it, because I noticed the exact same thing. I had the cameras on him here and waiting until you were done talking about the drivers up there battling for position, and I was going to mention that. I think that Jesse in the 88 truck is playing some strategy. I think he's trying to go the rest of the way without pitting again. If he can, he's going to win the stage, but if he can't, and if he blows a tire or if he runs out of fuel, it might cost him stage points and might even cause him to have to spend some extra time on pit road to repair any damage to his truck, and he might lose track position for the beginning of the final stage. So if he goes for it, you better hope it works out for him.
My biggest worry is that if he runs out of fuel, he's going to lose a lot of spots and have to start the final stage at the back of the field. And a lot of us know that when you start in the back at a road course for the final stage without cautions, it is hard to get back up there. Some of us are lucky to even get back in the top 10.
I couldn't agree more. He's going to have his work cut out for him if all of that is the way that it unfolds. We'll have to see if he can make it the rest of the way here in Stage 2. He's following Dean in the 16. Trenton Krentz in the 18's just in front of him. There's a whole line of trucks here battling inside the top 5. I can mention that Jeffrey Robinson Jr. has worked his way around Tanner Gray to take the 8th position, put Tanner Gray back into 9th, and Trey Hollywood in the 97 is scored in 10th, and we have a truck going to pit road, a couple of trucks, Nick DonFrancesco, Dustin Franklin, and Trenton Krentz. Evidently they could not go the entire distance here in Stage 2 without having to pit again, and there they are, coming down pit road.
That's got to be some sort of strategy where they're trying to cut some time between themselves and the 45 truck. That's the only thing I could think of. As I got eyes on Lone Wolf Gooney, the 6-time NASCAR champion, he just hit pit road.
I think that if you know you can't go the rest of the way, on the tires especially, and if the lefts are not going to make it, you might as well come to pit road pretty early, because you can only take 4 tires here on NASCAR Heat 5. They don't allow you to take left sides only. They allow you to take right sides only, or 4. And I think that these drivers need to take 4. Whoa, and there was contact made there between the 40 and the 24 going down the hill. That's turn 2. It might have been...
They were doing that right from the exit of pit road, like in the pit wall area, Tyler.
Oh, okay.
I got to that view and I was watching that. I think that was probably the game
I think
on
so.
our end to show that they were probably a lot cleaner than what we're seeing right now on this stream of the race.
I think that you're right, because it does do that at times. So I'm glad that that was the case and that there was not actually any serious contact. Stephen Corley in the 99 comes to pit road, and Jesse Carlson is still staying out on the racetrack. Honestly, folks, I think Beam SKP in the 16 is trying the same strategy as him, but I don't think that he's been lifting right from the beginning as much as Jesse Carlson in the 88 has. So I don't know if he's going to make it the whole way, but I think he might try. We're really not too sure. Let's throw it down to BM race reporter Cameron Norton. Cameron, who do we have as our race leader right now?
45.
All right. Ayrton Frederick still on the racetrack, yet to come to pit road. We saw a number of drivers running in the top 5 come to pit road, and I do think that they could have went a lot further until they needed to make their pit stop, but they chose to come in right away, get 4 fresh tires, and put them to good use to try to get some track position while everybody else is riding around on the old ones. If they end up coming in and taking 4, they might lose a couple of positions to the drivers who short pitted them.
I've tried that same strategy myself, Tyler, and a lot of times it has not worked into my favor. But I mean, I applaud these two here, Jesse Carlson and Beam. Oh, Beam's heading to pit road right now.
So was the leader, Ayrton Frederick. You're right. Jesse Carlson takes the lead over in the 88 truck.
How many more laps to go do we have in this stage?
They're coming to 3.
Ooh, this is gonna be close.
It is. And let's keep our eye on the 88. He just took the lead, and there's 3 laps to go right here and now. He's working his way down the hill through turn 2 and now into the right-hand turn for turn 3. Man, I wonder if he's going to be able to make it. He did start to lift and save pretty early. He was probably riding the 4th gear around some of these turns that you would probably want to be in 2nd or 3rd in, and trying to save some fuel that way. It's kind of the best way I know how to do it. Also, you can short shift as you're getting back to the throttle and back up through the gears. There's many ways you can save fuel on a road course. We've seen Jesse save fuel at a road course before.
I've seen him save fuel before as well, but I think right now he can risk losing time to 2nd place if that's still the 45 truck, because if he's got a big gap to him, then, you know, risk it. Don't push it so hard. Save as much as you can. Tire, fuel, do what you have to do. Get that stage point.
And here's the thing, he finished in 3rd in the race earlier tonight at Gateway. That was good points for him, and he entered the Truck Series playoffs with a lot of playoff points. He entered in as the 3rd seed for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series playoffs, the 2nd seed with 22 playoff points. So he's in a position right now where he can gamble to try to go and get the stage wins and get the race wins. He's pretty confirmed for the round of 8 at this point. So he might as well go out there and try to get a stage win. 2 laps to go. Pit road is closed. Jesse Carlson trying to hold on for dear life. You're right. It is Ayrton Frederick in the 45, scored in 2nd. And to be honest, in all fairness, he's not even that far behind Jesse in the 88 truck. So if Jesse does start to sputter, or if he does blow a tire, honestly, Ayrton might be able to get him in time. Ayrton's working his way around the right-hander, turn 3. And let's go back to Jesse Carlson. He just finished Moss Corner, so they're only a couple of turns away from each other.
Yeah, I think another thing to keep in mind, though, Tyler, is that he's trying to get enough points where he doesn't have to worry about Bristol.
He very well might be. And a 3rd place finish at Gateway and some stage points earlier in stage 1 for this race. That's a great start, and he could be closing in on a stage win here for stage 2 in the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. He's coming out of the final turn now, turn 10, and he's coming to the start-finish line. White flag is in the air, and next time by he'll see the green and white checkers, hopefully, still as your race leader, hopefully for him. He's hoping these tires and the fuel are going to hold out, so he doesn't need to sputter and coast up that long Mario Andretti straightaway, which does have some hill to it, some banking, some incline, so he will be going a little bit slower.
My thought with it, Tyler, is that if you take away like the race finish, stage 3 at Gateway, Jesse Carlson would have won stage 2 at Gateway, stage 1 here at Canadian Tire, and if he holds on, he can win stage 2, so he'll have 3 straight stage wins to add to his bank to make it good for Bristol.
And those are all playoff points that are going to carry over from round to round as long as he keeps on advancing. And we're watching a battle here for position. Stephen Corley dived in there really aggressively, made contact with Beam in the 16, and that's a non-playoff driver making contact with a playoff driver. Man, that was a little bit too aggressive in my opinion. Wonder how Beam's going to race him from here to the finish, because he definitely wants to try to get that stage point for finishing in 5th. It's the battle for 5th and 6th, I believe.
Coming to the straightaway, Jesse Carlson will win stage 2. he saved enough fuel and tire to make it. That makes him sweep the stages for this race at Canadian Tire. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Tyler, but I wanted to call that.
No problem. Unbelievable driving there for Jesse and the 88 truck. The Steel Horse Motorsports team brought their A game earlier tonight at Gateway, and according to what we're seeing here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, they did it again, and they're backing it up on the road courses. Let's go ahead and throw it down to our in-race reporter, Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3, to get the top 5 from Stage 2.
It is Oof, Ayrton, Dust Bunnies, Even Steven, and Napa Fan.
All right, then. And what a drive for Nick Donfrancesco. He's going to claim 5th and get that 1 stage point after getting the free pass at the end of Stage 1. And now we're going to send them into the final stage, Brett. They're going to be 2 by 2. Some of these drivers have damage to repair, so we might see the running order a little bit shuffled on the restart.
Oh, you're telling me. And if you get one of these trucks that are like in the middle of the top 10 that have no damage and you put them in the top 3, you know right then and there that they are going to try to go for that lead and hold it as hard as they can before or if they get passed by some of these dominant trucks. Coming to the start of Stage 3, this is for all the money right here. You got the 88 in the lead, you got the 45 to his inside. 45 will take the lead. The 88 is fighting back hard on the inside, as you got the 40 and the 18 battling for 3rd place right behind him. Here comes the 24 of Nick Donfrancesco. He just took over the 4th spot from the 18 of Even Steven. And the 88 is back in the lead with the 45 and the 40 of those Nice Motorsports trucks fighting hard, as the 40 just hit the inside wall. He falls back a bit, so it's a battle between the 88 and the 45. And everyone's driving through the grass. Does everyone have a lawn care service nowadays?
They very well might, and they're giving the landscapers crew a little bit extra work to do after today's race. My goodness, Jesse Carlson leads the race, and it was a wild restart there, but Ayrton Frederick's going to escape with 2nd. It's a side-by-side battle for 3rd and 4th. Justin Franklin in the 40. The points leader, Nick Donfrancesco, in the 24. 2-time NASCAR World Champion right behind him in 5th. That's Trenton Prince in the 18 truck. And it's Beam SKP in the 16, Stephen Corley in the 99, Tanner Gray in the 32, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Running in 10th, rounding out the top 10, I believe, was the 97 of Trey Hollywood.
I just saw the 45 give the bumper to the 88 as they went through that final turn. I apologize as well.
It's Cameron Norton in the 3 truck rounding out the top 10. Trey Hollywood lost a couple of positions there on the restart. We're still watching side-by-side battles for position inside the top 5, and Dustin Franklin in the 40 working his way to the inside of Trenton Prince. And close quarter racing here at the road course. No contact made, but they were awfully close. Now Trenton has the preferred groove through turn 3, the right-hander. I thought he might have enough momentum to clear that 40 truck, but he did not. He's going to stay side by side as they head down the hill towards Moss Corner. Beam is in 6th. Tanner Gray just got a shot from Stephen Corley. They're running 7th and 8th. And now they're side by side for those 7th and 8th positions, and you have Stephen Corley getting a little bit racy here. Seen him dive it in a couple of times and make contact with a couple of different trucks. Behind them is Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, watching and having a front row seat for this battle.
And right behind him, as I got eyes on our 10th place driver in the number 3 Bomaruto truck. I don't know what the sponsor is on that one. I've probably messed that up terribly. But it's our in-race reporter, Cameron Norton, as he is the last truck in a pack of 10 that have separated themselves from the rest of the field. As just ahead of them, the 32 of Tanner just got loose off that final turn. He falls back to 9th. Jeffrey Robinson takes over the 8th spot, as now it's a battle for 9th place between the 32 and the 3.
Action all over this racetrack. It's Armstrong in the 15 trying to creep his way closer to that battle. Jordan Green, the 6-time champ, runs in 12th. Trey Hollywood in the 97 runs in 13th. Alex Tesdall scored in 14th. Yes, he is. In-race reporter Cameron Norton calling it. Nick Donfrancesco spins. The points leader goes for a spin, and he's going to drop back now into the 10th position in behind Jordan Green.
New leader, 45 spun.
Wow. And some drivers beginning to get a little bit loose. The 45 of Ayrton Frederick loses the race lead. He goes for a spin. This gives the lead. Let me see here. Who is our race leader?
The 88 of Oof.
All right. Wow. So Jesse Carlson takes the race lead. Two-time NASCAR World Champion in the 18 truck. Trenton Krentz runs in second. That's the highest he's been scored all race long. The pole sitter, Dustin Franklin, in third. And Beam SKP in fourth. They've kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field a little bit here. Jesse's got 3 wins this season, 2 of them on a road course. And the drivers running in second and third, looking for their first NASCAR Truck Series wins on a road course.
I was about to ask, has that 18 truck won a truck race? But
No, he has not. He's looking for that first one. He's won so many NASCAR races on Gran Turismo Sport, 2-time world champion, 2019 NASCAR GT Cup Series champion in those GR3 cars, GT3 style cars. And here he is, making a name for himself, not only here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series.
The 40 truck just got into the wall.
But in the Motormaster Series as well.
40 truck just got into the wall at the sharp right-hander. I don't know if that was, from contact with the 18 or his own doing, but he just lost a little bit of ground to that 18 truck.
Call that after if I'm speaking.
My bad.
It's all good, buddy. He held on to it. He's running third. He's only about 4 or 5 truck lengths behind the 18. He's got about 6 or 7 to play around with in front of Beam SKP in the 16. And Ayrton Frederick rounds out the top 5 right now. Remember, Ayrton got loose a moment ago. Whoa, the 40! Hits the wall, inside wall, coming out of the final turn. He's going to lose the 3rd position to the 16 of Beam SKP. Brett, you saw that, eh?
I saw the end of that, yes. I had my eyes on the 45 at that moment, but yeah, that just separated the top 2. Now it's a battle between, you got the dominator on the road courses this season in any of the top 3 NOSSCAR series, Jesse Carlson, and you have a guy looking for his first truck win, sitting in second place right behind him in the 18 of Trenton. And
They're actually going to war. I'm sorry to cut you off. They're going to war right now. I was watching the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and yeah, you're right. Now that I'm tuning back in and checking out the 88 and the 18, there's only a couple of truck lengths separating those 2. And we got ourselves a battle for the lead and for the win. And the longer that we go for these long green flag runs, the trucks get a little looser as the tires get more worn and heated up. So we might still see some drivers maybe lose control, and it might open the door for a first-time winner. Trenton Krentz is all over the tailgate of the 88.
Yeah, that would be nice to see a first-time winner in my first race as a commentator. But I don't know how many laps are left in this race, Tyler, but if there are enough laps, I'm going to guess like maybe 3 pit stops at least to make it to the end of this race.
Yeah, why don't we throw it down to the in-race reporter, Alex Tesdahl, the driver of the 98. Alex, how many laps do we have left in the Rockstar 250?
16 to go.
All right, and so from here, they haven't pit for a while. So when they do come to pit road, if they come to pit road in the next 2 laps, maybe even 1 lap, then they can make it to the end on 2 pit stops, including that one.
I think that's the most strategy that people are going to try to pull, is try to make it on 2 instead of 3. Don't you think?
That's what I'm thinking. They might try to go another lap or 2 here, and then I believe that the pit window is open to make it on 2 more pit stops from here to the finish. It's been a wild race here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We've seen a number of different leaders. We've seen a number of side-by-side battles. We've seen trucks go off course a couple of times. We've seen it all. It's round 25 of the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5, and it is also the 2nd playoff race here in the round of 12. And we have the 45 truck of Ayrton Frederick on pit road. He's the first of the top 5 drivers to come down pit road for that scheduled pit stop. He's going to be a little bit close to make it on 2 pit stops from here, but he should still be okay. The 32 of Tanner Gray on pit road as well. He's surrendering the 8th position.
I think I see a strategy being pulled here to win this race, Tyler, and my guess is going to be that 88 truck. Because if he can save enough tire from either this run, even though it doesn't look like he's saving much because he's the race leader, if he can save enough tire and fuel for one of these stops, he can have a shorter pit time and get out with a huge gap on the rest of the field.
He might be trying to do that, and if he can go a couple of extra laps and still be maintaining good lap times, he'll have the fresh tires advantage over the course of the next stint. But never mind, here they come. Jesse Carlson,
Yep.
Trenton Krentz, 1 and 2, and they were separated by, I don't know, a bumper when they came to pit road. Trenton did a great job to close the gap in as much as he could without getting a pit road speeding penalty. And Nick Don Francesco in the 24 is going to follow him down pit road.
I had eyes on the 18 for that pit stop. Yeah, he closed up a ton right there. And on my TV screen here, I just saw the 16 get into the 18 on pit road. I know that's not what happened on the game, but that's just interesting to see on this point of view.
Yeah, it does look a little bit iffy on pit road at times, but it's definitely not what's going on the actual racetrack. Alex Tesdall comes to pit road as well. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Cameron Norton, a number of drivers coming in for scheduled pit stops, and they are able to safely make it from here, only pitting one more time. Beam SKP in the 16 is already down and away and back on the racetrack. He's going to settle in behind the 45 of Ayrton Frederick, who pit one lap sooner than Beam did, so Ayrton able to pick up a position that way. And I think that when this all cycles through, it's going to be Jesse Carlson retaking the lead with Trenton Krentz running in second, trying to chase him down.
Your leader right now is the 15 truck.
Strategy deployed, and why not, folks? He's a playoff driver. He's got 3 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series wins in his career, and he's made the playoffs every single season in NASCAR that he's attempted full-time in. And here he comes to pit road. He led a couple of laps there and getting some camera time, hoping to make it into the round of 8. He also made the playoffs for the Motormaster Series on Mondays, but he had a bit of a rough start to the round of 12 last night, so hoping to rebound here for Tailgate Truck Series action on Tuesdays. Got a top 10 finish earlier tonight at Gateway and looking to keep that streak going. And he's known for his road course racing abilities. So when he heard the Canadian Tire was the next racer in the round of 12, his eyes perked and his ears perked, and he was ready.
I think this lead between the 88 and the 18 got back to where it was before those pit stops. I've been watching this 18 truck, and he has not gained nor lost to that 88 truck at all since he came back out of pit road.
And you gotta wonder what's going on with the 88 out. You gotta wonder if he's lifting a little bit and maybe saving his stuff a little bit and kind of just keeping a safe distance in between himself and the 18 of Trenton Krentz, or he could be pushing his very hardest and trying to get as much distance as he can in between himself and the 2-time world champion. You don't really know. He's always thinking strategy on these road courses, and he's normally head and shoulders better than the competition, but today he's been challenged. He's been challenged by Ayrton Frederick, he's been challenged by Dustin Franklin, he's been challenged by Stephen Corley, Nick Don Francesco, Trenton Krentz, Tanner Gray. There's been a number of drivers that have shown amazing speed in this race. Beam SKP as well. And right now he's got about a 3 truck length advantage over Trenton Krentz. Sorry, Brett, go on.
It's alright. I remember when I met Jesse Carlson. And it was on M15, I think, in the Thunder Cup series or the Manninger series back a year ago. And I remember him trying so hard to get wins throughout the seasons. And it was nice to battle with him for a championship in Thunder Cup last season, or that last championship, for that series at least. And it's amazing to see him do well in the Heat series in NOSSCAR, and to see him win in Cup, Motormaster, and Trucks. Was I right on that? Does he have a Motormaster win?
He does.
It's nice to see him have success, you know, especially on these road courses. Like, he's one of the toughest guys I've had to race against on the road courses, and, you know, if I couldn't pull off a strategy, then he definitely can. And if not him, then maybe Flash 9 or somebody else.
He's the 9th different driver to be a Triple Crown winner here in NASCAR. He holds wins in the Platinum Cup Series, Motormaster Series, and the Tailgate Truck Series, and he's looking to get another one here. Got about a 4 or 5 truck length advantage over Trenton Krentz, and you're right, Brett, it's not really getting any bigger or smaller, the gap here between first and second, and Trenton's pushing as hard as he can. He's running the right line as well. He's really learned fast on these road courses, and he's putting all of that knowledge and experience that he's been getting here in these NASCAR series, the Motormaster Series and Truck Series, to good use. Now they head into Moss Corner at the bottom of the hill. Dustin Franklin has dropped back a couple of positions, but we can tell you that it's Ayrton Frederick. His teammate scored in 3rd. Beam SKP in the number 16 truck has scored in 4th. And let's check in with our in-race reporter, Cameron Norton, the driver of the number 3 Chevy Silverado, one of our playoff drivers. Cameron, how's the truck feeling? What position are you in?
Well, surprisingly, I'm in 6th place, and the truck is handling really good. So we're going to try to see what we can do here to pick up a win at the Old Canadian Tire.
How about that? And right in front of you, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, up into the top 5 after having a top 5 finish earlier tonight at Gateway. So 2 back-to-back good runs for Jeffrey in the 51. Good run as well for Cameron. 2 playoff drivers that need a good run here tonight.
It's good to see Jeffrey run well. I've seen him get messed up at the end of these races so many times that I know he's due for that first win in the Heat Series soon. I can see it happening, maybe this year at least.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time, and he's having a good race here at a track that he's not normally known for his success. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. has said many times he's not known for his road course racing abilities, but man, look at him go. Up there in the top 5 with a shot to win even. Being chased there by Cameron Norton in the 3 as they head into the right-hander in Moss Corner. It's the 6-time NASCAR champion Jordan Green running in 7th. There you see him in the 00 Ford F-150 around when the 3 truck, I believe, of Cameron Norton, some front-end damage for him, and he's back into 7th now.
Yep.
Let's throw it down to him.
On him for that.
Let's find out from Cameron what happened there, buddy.
Got back in the gas and she broke loose.
And it happens a lot. These road courses, throttle control is so critical, and the older the tires get, yeah, the snappier it gets. That's a shame. Good thing you're still in the top 10 and soldiering on. In 7th, you have a quite a distance back to the driver running in 8th, and that's Tanner Gray in the 32. Jesse Carlson still leading. Trenton Krentz running in 2nd. And Ayrton Frederick running in 3rd. Beam SKP runs in 4th. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. scored in 5th. A lot of drivers in the playoffs having a good run that needed a good run. Ayrton Frederick is the highest scored. Excuse me, it's actually Trenton Krentz, the highest scored non-playoff driver. Actually, he goes.
He just spun out.
He did. Front end damage to the Toyota Tundra from Rockstar Racing. He's going again, but he's got company now. Here comes Ayrton Frederick, and here comes Beam SKP. Brett, you saw the whole thing.
I was on Jesse's front nose view for that one, Tyler. That might have just sealed this race up for that 88 truck, if I'm predicting early. Because this battle for second has just heated up, and they still got one more pit stop. It's gonna take a penalty or a mistake on that 88 truck for one of these two right here, or possibly Beeman sitting there 4th to win this race.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that really did Trenton Krentz no favors. He loses 2nd to Ayrton Frederick. He's got front end damage that is definitely slowing that truck down. You can tell. And Beam SKP is now all over the tailgate of that truck looking for 3rd. Their teammates at Rockstar Racing. Oh, there was contact made between the two. And Beam is going to take over 3rd. Remember, Beam is a playoff driver full-time. Trenton Krentz, a part-time driver, not a part of the playoffs, so it might be better for Trenton to maybe let the 16 go and fall in line and see if you can manage that truck with the damage it has until the final pit stops of this race.
Well, they probably just started now, Tyler, because I got eyes on the 32 of Tanner Gray. He's on pit road.
Oh, yes, he is.
And possibly getting his last stop in for the race. So, be looking to see the rest of the trucks come in and get their service in for the final time.
You're right. I think the cycle of green flag pit stops has officially begun here. And man, we're watching one heck of a battle for second, third, and fourth. Something happened to Ayrton Frederick in turn 5. He lost second to Beam SKP in the 16. And now Ayrton's coming to pit road. So is Beam. So is Trenton in the 18. So if something were to happen to Jesse in the 88 truck, it's now Beam in the 16 that is in the spot to pounce and get his second career NASCAR Truck Series win.
Well, the 88 truck is on pit road as well, Tyler. The whole top 4 just pitted right there. I don't know if Jesse Robinson in the 51 did, but that's just what I saw from looking. Jesse Robinson is on pit road. I just saw from the view of the 21 truck sitting on pit road. Your top 5 is in pit road for their final stop.
You're right. There goes Carlson in the 88. He's leaving his pit stall, exiting pit road. He's got a commanding lead. None of the other trucks that were up there in the top 5 with him are in view, leaving pit road. There goes Ayrton in the 45. Jeffrey in the 51 is leaving. Jordan Green, Trey Hollywood, Beam SKP, a number of drivers now leaving pit road after getting service. But man, they've got a lot of distance to make up if they're going to challenge Jesse Carlson for this win, and I don't think that they have enough time to do it. Let's throw it down to Alex Tesdall to find out how many laps to go in the race.
I think it's 9 to go.
Cameron?
We should have less than 7 laps to go.
Less than 7, and so is the 88 leading?
Yes, I missed pit road.
Uh-oh.
The 3 truck is out of fuel. I repeat, the 3 truck is out of fuel.
No, and Cameron Norton is coming up the Mario Andretti hill, and oh, that is a shame because he was up in the top 5 at one point in this race, and before the cycle of pit stops began here, he was in the top 10 and 7th, and that is a heartbreaker for Cameron Norton. Oh, I've done it before, buddy. I have done that. You get mesmerized and focused and laser focused into the race, and then before you know it, you forget that you needed to pit that last time by, and yeah, I've been there.
That's what I get for not watching my field gauge.
Nick Don Francesco on pit road in the 24, and should mention 16 trucks left on the racetrack, 15 actually. 20 of them started this race and got points. It's the second playoff race here in the round of 12, and it's round 25 officially of the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. They're all chasing Jesse Carlson in the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports.
Yep.
I'm getting a good push from my old buddy Shadow.
And a helping hand there. Alex Tesdall helping his buddy Cameron Norton in the 3 there. 2 different teams, but they're the 2 in-race reporters, and Alex giving a push there to the 3, getting him back to pit road where he needs to be.
I do want to point out, though, Tyler, we may be on different teams in these truck races, or Motomaster, or Platinum Cup, but at the end of the day, we're friends with one another, and we lend a helping hand when we are able to.
I like it, and I really do like the maturity and the professionalism and the respect that everybody shows throughout NASCAR. And you're right, we've been racing with each other for a number of years now. NASCAR started back in June 2017, and a lot of us have become very close with each other, and you're right, good friends at the end of the day, no matter what happens on the racetrack. And I'm watching a good battle here. Alex Tesdall has a front row seat for it. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Beam SKP in the 16. They're Rockstar Racing teammates, but I'm not sure how Jeffrey advanced his way up the leaderboard as far as he did, unless Beam lost some track position. Alex, do you see what position those 2 trucks are in?
3rd and 4th.
Oh, wow. And what a run for Jeffrey in the 51. he's admitted many times he's not a fan of road course racing and that he's not very good on them, but he's up in 4th and having a great run here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and it's happening when it matters most, Brett. In the playoffs, when he needs to punch his ticket into the next round, the round of 8, his teammate Beam SKP, the full-time driver out of France, scored in 3rd just in front of him.
Yeah, that's a good run there for that 51 team.
Sorry, Tanner Gray in the 32 just went off-road there, heading into turn 5, but he's okay, and he's soldiering on still in the top 10 and having a great NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series race. It's his debut race, and he led laps earlier in this one, so shout out to Tanner and thanking him a bunch for jumping into my truck in the 32 Silverado. Let's quickly throw it down to Cameron Norton. How many laps to go in this race?
The leader, I believe, just took 3 laps to go.
Brett, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. 3 laps to go for Jesse Carlson in the 88. Cameron, when you get to the line, let me know how many it says, and then we subtract 1 because you're 1 down.
It's been a great race so far. I can touch a point on Jesse Carlson. He's been a really good road course racer, and it's a good deal for him to lock himself into the next round, and he's very dominant.
That 88 truck, though, has a commanding lead. Like, he's got almost a whole Mario Andretti straightaway on Ayrton James.
Cameron?
45. 3 laps to go.
And are you subtracting 1 already or no?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
I was subtracting 1 already.
Thanks, brother. And so Jesse Carlson is actually coming out of turn 10 right now, so 2 laps to go for the road course ringer. He's very much been the Chase Elliott of NASCAR here in 2021 on NASCAR Heat 5. Seems like every road course we go to, Brett, Jesse is the favorite to win it.
I think when it was either Motormaster or Trucks earlier in the season, when he won like 3 races in a row, or like 2 or 3 races in a row, you know, with both series combined on the road courses, that I think we were all in for a show that he just became the Chase Elliott of NASCAR in Heat 5.
He's been doing a terrific job. He's been scoring wins on road courses left, right, and center. He won the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race at Mid-Ohio Sport Course to claim his first win of the season there, punch his ticket into the Platinum Cup Series playoffs. He also won the Mid-Ohio Motormaster Series race, and he held off the legendary road courser Vintimidator for the win that night, as well as Dust Bunnies, Even Steven, a number of the road course ringers here in NASCAR. And I would like to point out that many of the drivers that have been battling inside the top 6 or 7 in this race are entered into the 2021 NASCAR King of the Road tournament, and they'll join Maxwell Castro and Salzano and all the great drivers from NASCAR Heat 5 in that tournament. The white flag has been shown to Jesse Carlson. 1 more lap to go here in the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
It's gonna feel good for him to be able to lock his ticket into the next round of the playoffs with a win. And you know, you touched on it. If Vintimidator is one of the toughest road racers in the entire NASCAR series, if you can beat him on a road course, then you got something. And we've seen that this season and in today's race with Jesse Carlson dominating by speed and strategizing to win stages. And now he's on his way to the Mario Andretti straightaway to another road course win, and none more important than in the playoffs in round 1.
Can't believe how smart he's been all race long with strategy. You're right, Brett. Saving and lifting to win stage 2. He made it all the way there, and it's been an incredible race for the kid, Jesse Carlson. He's come a long way in NASCAR, and it seems like everywhere he goes, Gran Turismo Sport, NASCAR 15, everywhere he joins us in races, it doesn't take long for him to go from top 15 to top 10 to top 5 to winning races every week. And here he comes out of the final turn. He's going to ride the grass like the finish between Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek, and he wins the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Actually, I think he just took the white.
My apologies to the viewers. 4 kilometers to go. This is why I try to have an in-race reporter on the lead lap, man. And I would love if the people that make this game would put a leaderboard on the left side. But a half a lap remaining for Jesse Carlson. He's coming down the hill towards Moss Corner. The right-hander, horseshoe turn. Very easy to get loose coming out of this turn. Throttle control is the key to winning races on the road courses, and knowing when to downshift and upshift and when to hit the brakes, when to mash it again. It's kind of an art, and Jesse Carlson's got it all figured out. He's got road course wins in Platinum Cup, Motormaster, and trucks, and he's coming around here through the final S turns for the final time. The fans are on their feet. You could hear them cheering over there at the end of the Mario Andretti straightaway here. Round 25 is in the history books, and Jesse Carlson wins at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Parks it at the start-finish line, and I believe that it's Ayrton Frederick coming around to finish in the second position in the number 45. We're watching them as they come to the line. Beam SKP is going to hold on and claim third. He'll get a playoff point for that. And Jeffrey Robinson Jr., his teammate, unbelievable run. He'll finish in fourth. And unbelievable for him on the road courses, man. Very impressive. It's Jordan Green in the 00 Ford F-150, finishing in the fifth position. The six-time NOSSCAR champion from NASCAR 15 Victory Edition. Having an amazing race here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. They're still battling coming to the start-finish line. Tanner Gray is going to claim a top 10. Nick Don Francesco spins coming out of the last turn, and Armstrong's going to claim a top 10 instead. Trey Hollywood, I believe, in the 97 truck, finished in the sixth position. And make sure you get pictures of the results for us, Alex. What a wild race it was. The Rockstar 250, round 25 is in the history books. The second race in the round of 12 for the playoffs. What a run by all of these drivers. Looking at Beam here on my screen. Finished in third. One heck of a run for him. He needed it after having a bit of a rough finish earlier tonight at Gateway. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., his teammate, two good finishes for him in a row to start the playoffs. Ayrton Frederick, non-playoff driver, finishing in second. But at the end of the day, Jesse Carlson, Steel Horse Motorsports, finds victory lane for the fourth time this season, and he is locked in, folks, to the round of 8, which begins next Tuesday. It'll be the second race of the night next Tuesday that kicks off the round of 8 for these 12 NOSSCAR playoff drivers, 8 NOSSCAR playoff drivers by that point. And stick around, folks. We're going to have some post-race interviews coming up for you. Once I see the race results and get a confirmation on the top 5, they will be invited to the chat, and we'll have a nice talk with them all. Jesse Carlson gets the quickest lap time with a 1:19.229 on a preset slider. Very impressive. And Trenton Krentz with a 3:66. Beam with a 7:38. Very impressive lap times. A 6:71 for Ayrton. What a race, what a finish. Post-race interviews coming up. Okay, no problem. But for now, we're going to begin the post-race interviews here, folks. We have some drivers that ran a solid race all race long, got some amazing finishes in this one. And we're going to start with the driver, the number 18 Toyota Tundra, and that is the two-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport, Trenton Krentz. Trenton, first of all, congratulations on a strong run out there. You battled inside the top 5 for a lot of this race. In the end, you ended up finishing in 6th. And honestly, I wanted to ask you this. Are you happy with that? You ran second a lot in the final stage. You had a shot to win this race. Is it kind of bittersweet to finish in 6th, or are you happy knowing that you're coming a long way in a hurry?
Well, I'm a bit frustrated at the moment, yeah. You know, I knew that I had pace. You know, so it was just a matter of doing good on the race starts, and I knew in the long run I had the pace to catch up, and I was battling with Oof there for the lead. It was just a cat and mouse with me and him for like 10 straight laps until that gap started to, it went from 0.7 to 1.4, and then I just ran out of talent, and once I started making mistakes, then one more mistake happened. I sped on pit road, and then I spun out again in the last stint. So it is what it is, I guess.
Overall, a pretty successful race for you. You're more known for your Gran Turismo Sport racing, and you're new to these NASCAR Heat games, but I was mentioning it a lot during the broadcast, not only on the road courses, but on the ovals as well. You're getting faster and faster week by week. When do you think you're going to find victory lane? What track do you think it'll be? What series in NASCAR do you think it'll be?
Well, I was pretty close to this one. I knew maybe if I would have gotten by Oof, that would have made things easier. But I hope that it comes soon. And also, I want to apologize to Ayrton James. On my screen, I did not hit him, but I knew something must have gone wrong because he spun out very quickly.
Congratulations on a solid run here tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Thank you, thank you.
And we're going to quickly jump to a blue screen on your screens for the viewers on YouTube. I apologize, but we're going to continue post-race interviews. You'll only see that screen for about 15 seconds, and then we're coming right back. And continuing with the post-race interviews, Ayrton Frederick, the driver of the number 45 Chevy Silverado, finished in second, and you had one heck of a race, led a lot of laps in this one. You came in as one of the favorites to win this race. You're always one of the favorites here on these road courses. Both of your Tailgate Truck Series wins that you have in your career were both on a road course, Watkins Glen and Road America, I believe the other one was. How close do you think you came to winning here tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park?
A lot closer than I thought I would going in. Real quick, I want to apologize to the 51. I got loose, slid up into him at the first lap of stage 2, knocked him off the track, so I do want to apologize to the 51. But I just jumped in the truck, no practice, and I knew it was a road course, so I'd probably have a decent, pace without practice, but I wasn't expecting to qualify third, and then I was up in the lead right away. I'd spun in stage 1. I don't even know what happened. The truck just came out from under me. But got back to the lead for stage 2 and thought I would have the stage win, but somehow the 88 stretched his fuel or something and won that stage. But again, was running up front in stage 3, and the 18 just apologized, I believe, for knocking me off the track and spinning me. I'm not positive it was him. I believe he knocked me into someone else, and that caused me to spin. But yeah, bottom of the hill, which is where I think the race is won and lost in terms of a lot of time gained and lost. I got spun out in the double right-hander at the bottom of the hill. That kind of knocked me out of contention. I caught the 88 a little bit at the end of the race, last couple laps, but he was just too far ahead, and I had nothing for him. But again, Great run for the 45 Plan B sales Chevy Silverado. Got the win a couple weeks ago at Road America, but I've come so close so many times in the part-time schedule, and I hope to get another one soon.
I think that it's only a matter of time, because I was just about to touch on that, actually. You've come close a lot of times this season, and arguably should have more than one win here in 2021. But overall, I wanted to ask you this. Are you satisfied with the way that your part-time campaign has been so far here in 2021? You have a win and a number of top 5 finishes.
I've definitely been satisfied, but at the same time, it's also sort of never satisfied, like you said and I said. I probably easily could have at least 1 or 2 more wins this year. Just stuff hasn't completely fallen my way, but I'm definitely very happy with how the part-time schedule's gone. I didn't expect to do this good at all. Top 5s, top 10s coming left and right have been really good. I think I've only finished outside the top 10 like once or twice, so it's definitely been really good to see myself do really good every Tuesday, but just need to get that little bit more push at the end of the races.
Good job on your second place finish here tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and good luck to you this Friday in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series races.
Thanks, Ty.
And that was Ayrton Frederick, driver of the 45 Chevy Silverado, finishing in second. Led a lot of laps for this race, came in as one of the favorites to win, and came very close to doing just that here tonight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Do we have Sniper in here? All right. Honestly, folks, it's a bit of a short post-race interviews, a short post-race show. Jesse Carlson is declining an interview from Victory Lane, and it's only because he had to go right away after this race. But congratulations to Jesse Carlson, the driver of the number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. An unbelievable drive for him here in this race. We're going to quickly throw it over now to Brett Baker. He was my co-pilot here for the Rockstar 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Brett, what did you think of tonight's race? I'm going to throw the same question over to Cameron Norton.
I think it was a great race. It turned out really well. It sucks that we kind of stayed out on an accident, and race kind of fell apart from there. But all in all, we ran pretty good, pretty decent. Ran top 10, top 5 here and there. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming schedule of this playoff. If we finish really good next week, or try to get a win next week, we might be there. But I know I'm really looking forward to Talladega, so we're excited. For the
congratulations on a strong run here in Canada.
Thank you, thank you.
Driver of the 98, Alex Tesdall, our other in-race reporter. Alex, how did you feel about tonight's race at Canadian Tire?
Well, the truck wasn't too bad. Just, got caught up in a couple incidents and got damaged on a couple different occasions, and really couldn't get up into the top 10. I thought the truck was capable of it. And I also gave up a lot of time pushing Cam to the pits, but at that point in the race, I was a lap down and had no hope I catched anyone else. But so I had a top 10 truck, just got caught up in some things and ended up 13th, I believe.
Overall, not a bad job here tonight at a very tough and challenging road course with a lot of blind turns and elevation changes. One of the more tricky road courses, in my opinion, on the real-life NASCAR schedules. And congratulations once again to Jesse Carlson and to Steel Horse Motorsports. Round 25 of the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season is in the history books. The round of 12 only has one more playoff race, folks, and it is at Bristol Motor Speedway next Tuesday. The broadcast should begin at about 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Motormaster Mondays and Tailgate Tuesdays, both coming to a close very soon here. Only 3 more weeks left of action in 2021 for those 2 nights. From all of us here at NOSSCAR, we're saying so long and stay fast, folks.